Right now at 6 o'clock, should Connecticut help women who are not in Connecticut to come here to get abortions? We're going to have both sides of yet another controversial bill.
5 teens arrested after a police chase and several crashes. More on what happened and the charges they're facing.
UConn fans have been waiting quite a while for the men to make it back to the Sweet 16. Of course, the women, it's a yearly thing. We're going to have more, though, on what is facing the UConn men tonight out in Las Vegas.
All local, all morning. This is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good morning. Thanks so much for being with us this Thursday. A lot to talk about. We're glad you're here. I'm Erica Arias.
And I'm Tim Lammers, and we're starting with the forecast because, man, when you step outside, you might be surprised. It is mild. I don't know what happened in New Haven. I'm guessing there's some fog, too.
Fog there, I guess.
New Haven's sleeping in. There's a little extra,
lucky New Haven.
Extra thick blanket for them in the form of fog. Good morning to you both. Nice to see you. Nice to see you at home as well at 6:01 on this Thursday morning. You're going to see the visibility in a second. It's a small state, but it's a tale of two regions. This morning, is it March or May, given the temperatures? It is very warm out there. A few scattered showers off and on today, and up and down temperatures over the next couple of days. You know, that's a March thing, too. We're at 10-mile visibility in Hartford, Willimantic, Windsor, Meriden, but you go down to the shoreline and it gets reduced significantly. So if you're along I-95, even to Merritt, to Wilbur Cross, you want to be careful out there. Give yourself some extra time. Temperature-wise, look at this, 50 degrees in Hartford. That's where the high should be at 6 a.m. Nuts. Upper 40s across the board with the wind very light out of the south. We need to bust up that wind a little bit at the shorty. Bust up the fog, I should say. Clouds, yes. Rain coming. It's not a big deal, but it is a kind of just a little dreary for your Thursday forecast. We have more rain, mainly later on, and you're going to see that come around the afternoon period and then into the evening, maybe a little spritz as well as we wind this down. That's not it for the rain, though. We'll talk about that with the 7-day bus stop forecast. Look at this, 49 now, 54 later. So it's a little warm out there, to say the least. Talk about where those numbers are going for the weekend. Come on back for that in a few minutes. Lauren Zenzi, how are the roads, assuming you could see them down on the shoreline?
Crystal clear as of right now. Things are looking really good out there, Matt. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Hopefully everyone has been enjoying the nice weather, getting outside, maybe even rolling down your windows. I did that for my daughter yesterday, and she hated it. So we rolled them back up. We do have some construction. Route 8 southbound, the entry ramp from I-84 westbound is still closed due to that construction over there. That should wrap up in the next 30 to 35 minutes, and then it'll be smooth sailing in and around the Waterbury area. 91 looking great. I-84 coming into the Hartford Tunnel might take you an extra couple of minutes. We also have a little bit of a backup over on the eastbound side of I-84. The delay really is on that northbound side of I-91 heading out of the capital city. Southbound coming into the capital city, not looking too bad. Waterbury drive times 84 and Route 8 looking great. And then as we move down into Fairfield County, we're definitely seeing some heavier volume start to build on the southbound side of I-95. We'll check in again on the roads coming up at 6:30. For now, Tim and Erica, back over to you.
Lauren, thanks so much.
Well, today, the Human Services Committee at the Capitol is meeting on a bill that would help women from other states get access to abortions here in Connecticut.
Fox 61's Brooke Griffin is live at the Capitol this morning with what people are saying about this bill. Brooke, good morning.
Good morning to you both. This has been deemed a pretty controversial bill this legislative session, and it's all because it would be using funding, taxpayer dollars, to bring in women from other states who are seeking out abortion services. But not everybody agrees that this is exactly the best way for that money to be used. In Connecticut, abortion rights are protected by law, and they have been for more than 30 years. But since Roe v. Wade has been overturned, access to abortion services has been limited or eliminated in many states. This is where this bill comes in. If passed this week and sent to the General Assembly, then the path is carved for $2 million of taxpayer money to go towards bringing in women from other states who are seeking out those services. State Representative Matt Blumenthal says he is supporting the legislation and wants to see Connecticut be a front runner when it comes to access to abortion.
Other states across the country have been attacking reproductive rights and reproductive health care, and we've been defending them, both through our laws, but also through ensuring that they're accessible, because if you have a right, it means nothing unless you can access it.
But those who walked in the Connecticut March of Life yesterday say this is a misuse of taxpayer money. The marchers gathered at the Capitol to show their disapproval for the legislation. Some lawmakers say they also do not support this bill and think the money could be better used to help women who live in Connecticut as opposed to those who don't.
More educated by race and gender, but they're also the fastest growing entrepreneurs. And so if we created access that really mattered, we would be funding businesses for young people. We would be educating young people about climate justice. We would be educating young women about the value of their decisions, as well as young men.
And that Human Services Committee is meeting later this morning to talk about this bill. Now, they could send it through to the General Assembly, but they only have through this afternoon to do it. We'll have an update for you this afternoon. Live in Hartford, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Brooke, thanks for the update there. We'll check back. Meantime, 6:06 in East Haven, police arresting 5 teenagers accused of stealing a car and also hitting police cruisers. This happened just after 8:30 yesterday morning. Officers say they were chasing after a stolen Hyundai out of New Haven. This happened near North High Street. Now, that pursuit eventually led officers to Hudson Street, where this happened.
They just wrecked my car.
Now, authorities say the vehicle then got stuck in the grass. Officers were able to take all of the teens inside that vehicle into custody. And while all of this was happening, 2 nearby schools were sent into a brief lockdown.
A judge ruled that a murder suspect was dangerous enough to warrant doubling his bond to $2 million. 31-year-old Sebastian Andrews is accused of stabbing his neighbor to death Monday in Wilton. And it was Andrews' father who called 911 to report that somebody was attacking the neighbor. Now, the body of 39-year-old Arinze Chukwu Ukachukwu was later found in a detached garage. Fox 61 got a copy of the arrest warrant, and in it, Andrews claims he confronted Ukachukwu for trespassing on his property and then claims he killed him in self-defense.
There's no information to substantiate that claim.
Now, that bond was increased in a court hearing yesterday. If Andrews eventually posts it and gets released before trial, he will be required to wear a GPS monitoring device, and he will not be allowed to stay in his home.
Happening today at the Capitol, small business owners are expected to meet with State Comptroller Sean Scanlon. Now, this is coming ahead of a March 31st deadline for them to enroll in the MyCT Savings Program. It's a retirement program that's overseen by the Comptroller's office. Employers must certify that they have their own retirement program for employees or enroll in the state's retirement program. Today's event is expected to start at 10 o'clock this morning. All right, it is an exciting time for the college students on the UConn campus.
Yeah, both the UConn men and women are in the Sweet 16. The men are playing tonight at 7:15 Eastern as the 4th-seeded Huskies are playing the 8th-seed Arkansas in Las Vegas. And as you can see, they had the shortest trip out of the 2 of them. But yeah, the men are the focus tonight.
It's their first time in the Sweet 16 in 9 years, and it's safe to say fans are pretty pumped.
Yeah, Fox 61's Lindsay Kane is in stores with more. Lindsay, you're a Husky yourself. I imagine you're excited too.
Hi, good morning. Oh, I am super excited. I've got my Huskies sweatshirt on. I couldn't come here without sporting my UConn gear. There's a lot to be excited for here in stores, of course, because the men and women's team are both going to the Sweet 16. But as we were just saying, first up is the men tonight. And although campus is a little bit quiet this morning, that's only because students are getting their rest in order to cheer on the Huskies tonight in what is expected to be a big game. So UConn is the number 4 seed. They're playing against Arkansas, who is the number 8th seed. Now, this is the first Sweet 16 appearance in almost a decade for the Huskies. Now, they're coming off 2 big wins against Iona and St. Mary's. UConn and Arkansas have only played each other 4 times. The Huskies won the first 3, and the Razorbacks won the most recent in 2017. The Razorbacks are fresh off their win against Kansas, the defending champs, to make it to the Sweet 16 for the 3rd year in a row. But the Huskies hope to advance to the Elite 8. Now, the last time they were in the Sweet 16 was the year they won the national championship in 2014. So fans think they're going all the way. And it's, of course, the best of both worlds as the women's team also advance. And it's especially good for longtime UConn fans that have been cheering on the programs through every high and low.
I've been a fan since 89, 90, since Gamble opened, and there's just nothing like it in the state of Connecticut.
The UConn women are making their 29th appearance in a row in the Sweet 16. They'll play Ohio State on Saturday afternoon in Seattle. As for the men, that game is in Las Vegas tonight, happening at 7:15. Although, Storrs is a long way away from Las Vegas, the team will certainly feel the love and support they have from UConn fans here in Storrs and, of course, around the region as well. So we'll be cheering them on. Of course, go Huskies. Tim and Erica will send things back over to you.
Yeah, you can lose the impartiality a little bit when you're reporting on sports. That's just how it goes. Lindsay, thank you so much.
Lindsay.